Welcome to Can-Am Rising Strong Style. I'm your host, Steve Sorensen, joined as always by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the voice of reason, Jacob Elwood.
And we are in for a brutal contest tonight, maybe the biggest challenge. Phil Atlas is faced for that championship right there in the form of Jon Bolen and the Syndicate.
Now, Phil Atlas has managed to get past the cyborg Tyson Dukes and the monstrous Congo Kong, but he has never faced someone as demented as Jon Bolen.
His opponent, he hails from Tecumseh, Ontario, weighing 192 pounds. He is the Border City Wrestling Heavyweight Champion,
And here we go, folks. Once again, the Syndicate trying to take down the champion, Phil Atlas.
Well, it seems like Scott D'Amore has got a personal vendetta against Phil Atlas. He thinks the kid's got no respect, and it's hard to agree with him. Phil Atlas doesn't really show much respect to pretty much anyone inside or outside the business.
Phil Atlas is a tremendous talent, has earned everything he has gotten in this business. He has worked harder than anyone I have ever met in my entire life. And Scott D'Amore keeps trying to throw obstacle after obstacle at him.
Well, Scott D'Amore has definitely fished for the best talent to take down Phil Atlas here, and I think he's got the ultimate destructor in one, Jon Bolen, here tonight.
Phil Atlas definitely has his hands full with the mountain of muscle Jon Bolen taking him on tonight. As you can see, that's for the World Heavyweight Championship, the Border City Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. Bolen right away rushing Atlas. Big mistake. Atlas too quick for him. And look at Atlas fire away.
But look at the power of Jon Bolen here.
He can be as strong as he wants. If he can't hit, it's not going to make a damn difference. And Phil quickly changing tactics, keeping Bolen off his toes here. Going from strikes to holds, back to strikes again. And Phil Atlas wisely keeping his eye on the jerk Scott D'Amore outside the ring.
Jerk, that's a little uncalled for. How about master manipulator? How about sensei?
How about jerk? And here he is again, Scott D'Amore, as always, sticking his nose and his hands into somebody's business. And Atlas has had enough. Here we go. Get him, Phil.
And look at the speed of Scott D'Amore. Boy, and brilliant maneuver by Jon Bolen and Scott D'Amore taking out the champ.
That's got to be it. The referee refusing to count the pin, though. He's kicking Scott D'Amore out.
Oh, come on.
Good for you. Absolutely. Get rid of him. He does not need to be here.
That is unreasonable. Jon Bolen had the champ pin. 1, 2, 3 in the ring. This is ridiculous.
That spear was vicious, but quite frankly, I agree with the official on this one. Scott D'Amore stuck his nose into this business once again where it does not belong, and the referee is kicking him out for his trouble.
Oh, come on. He's got a legitimate, viable manager's license. That's still a thing, right?
does not leave ringside immediately. He will award the match to Phil Atlas.
Ladies and gentlemen, if Scott D'Amore doesn't leave in 10 seconds, the match and the belt are awarded to Phil Atlas. I love it.
Tragic miscarriage of justice here.
3. I'm with the ref on this one. Bolan telling D'Amore to scram. And now we've got a fair fight.
Unbelievably biased call from this referee. Whose pocket is he in?
Well, thankfully, not Scott D'Amore's. And now Bolan laying in those right hands, those big meaty paws.
Jon Bolen's got all the skill, all the power, and all the knowledge he needs for Mr. D'Amore to do this one on his own.
Hey, if Jon Bolen can defeat Phil Atlas one-on-one, I will readily announce him as a rightful champion of Border City Wrestling.
I'm going to hold you to that when it happens, sir.
If it happens. My money's on Phil Atlas. And Jon Bolen with a running shoulder tackle into the ribs. No give with those turnbuckles.
And the odds are not in the champ's favor now as Bolen just having his way with him. Brutal, knocking him out of the ring off the top.
Oh, that chop was just intense. You can see Bolen riling up the crowd. He really needs to keep his focus on Phil Atlas. Maybe he's a little rattled from them kicking out Scott D'Amore. Definitely not how his game plan was worked out.
Well, if anybody can think on their feet under the tutelage of Scott D'Amore, it is Jon Bolen.
And now driving him back first into that ring post. And you can see, this is what I was saying about Bolen being that little bit more demented than anyone Phil has taken on. We've seen before where people will take and hold a man in a cross-body position and run part of his spine into the post. Bolen kept him straight vertical so that his entire back, every vertebrae hit that post.
It's the viciousness, it's the strategic attack that is going to make Jon Bolen your next Border City Wrestling Can-Am Heavyweight Champion.
And Phil Atlas quickly sliding underneath Bolen's feet. He's got a stick and move here. If he's got it in him, he's got to fight now. And a big splash, but he can't follow up with a cover. Bolen may have done too much damage already for Phil to be able to get a pinfall on him.
Oh!
And another spear out of nowhere.
Somebody go into the third row and get Phil Atlas's boots.
Oh, Phil Atlas is done. There is no getting up from this, too. And he kicked out.
And I got to say, the crowd taking the words right out of my mouth. Look at this.
Oh.
Holy expletive deleted indeed.
Not only crunching his ribs there, possibly breaking 2 or 3 of them, but Phil landed directly on the back of his neck. And now driving him again into the turnbuckles. Jon Bolen just picking apart the champion. It may just be a matter of time.
It's about the title. You get disqualified. You don't win it. Come on now.
And you got to wonder how the champ is going to recover from this. A brutal beating, precise beating by Jon Bolen, whipping a pillar to post here.
And Phil Atlas with a kick to the jaw. Goes for that. Goes for a crossbody, misses, manages a single leg takedown, may have dazed the challenger, and a running senton. Bolen sliding to the outside. That is not going to save him from the champion. He's been known to fly more than once.
But it will buy him some much-needed rest time here.
Bolen struggling to get to his feet, using that ring apron to pull himself up. And here's our champion ready to go. He's going to try everything he can to take Bolen down. And a nice springboard drop kick knocks him off the apron. Come on, Phil. You got to stay right on top of him. Take him out. Getting the crowd on his side. This could be the move that ends this match.
Wasting a lot of time here. Phil is going to fly.
Bolen catching him. Oh my God!
Wow.
A belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. Oh.
Complete devastation on Phil Atlas.
And worse, Phil Atlas didn't just hit his back on that. His ankle hitting the ring floor. You can see once again here, watch. Jon Bolen tossing Phil Atlas with reckless abandon. His back hits the mat, but his ankle hit the floor.
Look at that power.
I believe he may have fractured something there. But Phil will not say, he will not say die, he will not stay down. You will have to break his legs and throw him in a ditch before he will stay down.
I don't think Jon Bolen or the Syndicate have any problem with that whatsoever.
And again, out, he will not stay down. I told you, this man, he has more heart than any Syndicate member can take out.
Heart doesn't pin the shoulders to the mat, my friend.
But it certainly keeps them from staying pinned. Phil Atlas struggling valiantly to get to the ropes, trying everything he can to get back up and get back into this match. And our crowd getting behind our champion, chanting, "Let's go, Phil."
Where is he getting the power from? I can't believe Phil Atlas is fighting his way out of this. Back on his feet now.
And repeated elbows to the jaw, trying to break away. He managed to break the grip of Bolan.
Oh!
And right into a spine buster. Oh, the brutality. 1, 2, that's got to end it. No! Phil Atlas kicking out once again, and Bolan looks pissed. Bolan's starting to get frustrated, doesn't know what it's, you can tell he doesn't know exactly what it's going to take to keep Phil Atlas down. He thought that should have been enough. And now Atlas kicking away at the challenger.
Well, I will say one thing. Phil Atlas can take a beating and keep on going. But does he have enough in his tank to take down the monster Bolan? Not by the looks of that.
Now, you would think a lot of guys would go after the legs of a high flyer like Phil Atlas to keep him off the top rope. Bolan, again, showing he's got a little more in his mind than most. If you take out the core of Phil Atlas, if he can't breathe, he can't fly. And now Bolan tossing him into the corner. You can tell Bolan smells blood in the water. He is not going to let up on the champion. And again, those repeated fists to the ribs. And once again, repeatedly whipping the champion into the turnbuckles. Now, the last time he tried this, it didn't end so well for Bolan. Wasting a bit of time, he may want to get back against the champion, or this could cost him. And Atlas dives out of the way. Oh, Bolan eats the ring post.
And I don't know what Jon Bolen was thinking on that. Way too much time allowed to Phil Atlas. This is where the advice and the coaching of Mr. D'Amore would have come in handy here.
Well, definitely not having Scott D'Amore at ringside seems to have phased him, because he is as brutal as he's been. There's been a couple of opportunities where had he stayed on him, he would be the new reigning defending heavyweight champion.
And now Phil Atlas trying to get the crowd to indeed give him that power. He needs to finish off the challenger.
And a beautiful cross body from the top.
But Bolan back on his feet again, takes another shot, and Atlas now hammering away, but Bolan's not staying down.
Stick and move, Atlas. Stick and move. Just keep firing away. And a nice kick to the knee takes him down. Oh, going for that side kick to the face, the same kick that finished off Congo Kong. Oh, and the referee taken out by Jon Bolen. Referee's down and out. And now Phil Atlas with the block and the long blow. An enziguri to the back of the neck. If Phil can connect, there it is.
Oh.
There it is, the side kick. That's what has taken out so many challengers.
And
this is it.
Jon Bolen is out, and here comes.
And not a referee, it's the cyborg Tyson Dukes. Once again, the Syndicate rears its ugly head. We should have seen this coming.
The solidarity of the Syndicate is lifting up the challenger, Jon Bolen.
This is ridiculous. Every time Phil Atlas has the advantage, the Syndicate decides they're going to end things. This is pathetic. And Atlas slipping out of the possible brainbuster.
Oh.
Now takes out Tyson Dukes, and a side kick for his troubles. Eat that, cyborg. Phil Atlas staying one step ahead of the Syndicate here, but still no referee to be found.
But does Phil have enough left in him after that beating from the Cyborg and from the challenger to finish off and take the championship one more time?
Phil Atlas up to the top rope. If he can hit something from here, this will be over as long as we can get a referee. Oh! Trying that dive bomb splash, not quite working. And now Bolan. Oh, look at the torque on that. Now Bolan, no referee though. Oh, here we go. Here's a referee. This is it, folks. This has got to be it. 1, 2, and Atlas kicks out. Had the referee been there sooner, we might have had a new champion, but Bolan taking out that first ref came back to bite him.
Some terrible officiating. Why was the ref not out there sooner?
Because he wasn't the original referee.
That doesn't matter. Ref goes down, ref comes out.
It's not like we have a machine in the back that spits out referees.
Finish working on it.
And now a backcracker from the champion. Bolan is down. If Atlas can cover him, this could end it. Dragging himself to the challenger. Come on, Phil. Just a couple more feet and you've got him. Catching breath. There he is. He's got it. 1, 2. This is it.
Only 2. And the ref slipped out of the ring. And there's Coach D'Amore.
Slipped my butt. Scott D'Amore pulled him out of the ring and threw him into the ring steps. Once again, here's Scott D'Amore inserting himself into the main event.
Well, when the original ref goes down, that means all bets are off and D'Amore's back or allowed back at ringside.
And now Scott D'Amore is about to get what he so richly deserves, a beating at the hands of the champion, Phil Atlas. He's been waiting years for this opportunity, like all of us. Punch him right in the face, Phil, right in the teeth. Knock him down his throat.
Oh, and here comes Kong.
I should have known. In comes Congo
the
Kong.
The Syndicate's hitman, and the champ is driven through the mat.
I'm surprised he isn't down through the ring at this point. And now, Abe Action Jackson and Aiden Prince.
And, good Lord, the power of Kong. Who can keep this man down?
I feel like I've seen that before. That was brutal. And now Ashley Six trying to take out Congo Kong. Oh.
And good night, Six.
That Samoan drop may have just broken his pelvis. Just anarchy here in the ring, folks. No referees, no one to count anyone down. And Psycho Mike Rollins, speaking of anarchy.
And things have just broken down here in Can-Am Rising.
And now Mike Rollins with a beautiful clothesline. Out goes Congo Kong. Stay on him, Rollins. Take him out. Get rid of him. No love lost between these two. That's certainly not the last we'll see of them fighting.
Meanwhile, the champ is down, and here comes the Cyborg and Coach D'Amore.
And in slides Bolan. This does not bode well for our champion, folks.
It is about to get messy for Phil Atlas here.
And now they lay in the boots.
Oh, my God.
How much weight was that coming down on his ribs? Phil Atlas on his own, no help for him. Scott D'Amore with his belt off.
And now it's payback time.
Oh, but here's some help. Brad Martin in for the save.
Oh, but what is Gimpy going to do here?
Well, it's not so much what he's going to do, it's what he's going to do with his crutch. I thought Phil Atlas was done for, but his long-standing best friend in the business, Brad Martin, here to save the day. He's had enough of the Syndicate, just like the rest of us.
Yeah,
good for you, Brad
and how
Martin.
tough is he without that crutch in his hand?
Pretty damn tough, but he's got the crutch in his hand, so who cares? Good for you, Brad Martin. Stand up for the good. Stand up for what's right in this world.
Oh, what is this? Oh, my God!
You piece of garbage! And Scott D'Amore has once again gotten to... Oh.
Have we seen the newest member of the Syndicate? And if you notice, he's walking just fine. My God. Brilliant maneuver by Scott D'Amore in the Syndicate.
What a piece of crap.
And
now,
here comes Bolan.
Phil Atlas can't believe what he's seeing. But he needs to be more aware of what's behind him, not what's in front of him. Oh my God. And oh no, Bolan with the spear!
And the champ is down and the ref is back into the ring. Count it.
No, not like this. Kick out, come on, Phil, kick out! Oh.
We got a new champion. The Syndicate is in charge.
Ladies and gentlemen, your brand new, heavily disputed, completely undeserving of this victory with all this interference, Jon Bolen.
Disputed, perhaps. Undeserving, maybe. But reality, he is the champ, and Brad Martin is the Syndicate.
This is absolutely pathetic.
After years of being in the shadow of Phil Atlas, years of being ignored when he was on the shelf, Brad Martin finally steps up and takes out Phil Atlas.
And Scott D'Amore clearly taking advantage of a jealous streak that's inside of Brad Martin. If he wanted to be more, if he wanted to be bigger, he could have been the biggest thing in the world. But instead, here we see one more time that brutal spear. See, that right there, that spear is enough to beat any man. If he would have won the title with that move by himself, I would gladly say that Jon Bolen is a deserving champion. But all he is the new figurehead